Hello, everyone. Welcome back to PodQuiver. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex. Sarah, let me ask you a question. Do you think people are born smart, or do they become smart?
That's the classic nature versus nurture debate. I think some people are just born geniuses, like Einstein or Mozart. They have a gift.
That is a very common belief, but according to the book we are discussing today, that belief might be the exact reason why you are stuck.
Ooh, okay. We are talking about Mindset by Dweck.
Yes, Dweck is a psychologist at Stanford. After decades of research, she found that people fall into two categories: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Let's start with the fixed mindset. People in this group believe their qualities are carved in stone. You have a certain amount of intelligence, and you can't change it.
So I'm bad at math, or I'm not a creative person. That's fixed mindset?
Exactly. If you believe ability is static, then you feel the need to prove yourself over and over. Every test, every conversation is a judgment. Will I look smart, or will I look dumb?
That sounds exhausting. Always trying to protect your image.
It is. Now compare that to the growth mindset. These people believe that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate through effort.
So they believe anyone can be Einstein?
Not necessarily. They don't believe everyone is the same. But they believe everyone can change and grow. A person with a growth mindset says, "I'm not good at math. Yet."
That tiny word, yet, changes everything.
It does. But here is the scary part, Sarah. We often create a fixed mindset in our children by how we praise them.
Really? I always tell my kids, you are so smart when they get an A. Is that bad?
According to Dweck, yes, it is dangerous.
Why? It's a compliment.
Because when you say, "you are smart," you are praising their talent, fixed trait. The child thinks, "I am smart. That is my identity. If I take a hard test and fail, it means I am not smart."
Oh my God. So they stop taking risks because they are afraid of losing the smart label?
Exactly. They choose easy puzzles just to look good. They avoid challenges.
So what should I say instead?
Praise the process. Say, "Wow, you studied really hard for this. I like the strategy you used." Praise the effort, not the talent.
That makes sense. Effort is something they can control. Talent is just luck.
Precisely. And this leads us to the biggest difference between the two mindsets: how they view effort.
I thought everyone liked effort. Hard work is good, right?
Not for people with a fixed mindset. To them, effort is a bad sign.
Effort is bad? That sounds crazy. We will talk about the effort paradox in part 2. But first, let's review the vocabulary for part 1. These are great words to describe personality. First word, innate.
Innate means inborn, natural, something you are born with. A fixed mindset believes intelligence is innate.
Second, malleable. Able to be hammered or pressed permanently out of shape without breaking or cracking. Basically, easy to influence or change. The brain is malleable.
Third, static, lacking in movement, action, or change. Fixed mindset sees talent as static.
And fourth, to cultivate. To try to acquire or develop a quality or skill. Growth mindset believes you can cultivate intelligence.
So, we know the definitions, but why do some smart people hate working hard? Why do they think effort makes them look stupid?
It sounds counterintuitive, but it explains so much about perfectionism. We'll discuss the effort paradox in part 2.
Welcome back to part 2. Sarah, do you remember the story of the tortoise and the hare?
Of course. The rabbit is fast but lazy. The turtle is slow but steady. The turtle wins.
It's a classic story about effort, but in the fixed mindset, people actually want to be the hare.
Why? The hare lost the race.
Yes, but he is naturally fast. In the fixed mindset, effort is seen as a deficiency. If you have to work hard at something, it means you aren't good at it.
Oh, I see. Like in school. The coolest kids were the ones who didn't study but still got A's. The kids who studied all night were seen as trying too hard.
Exactly. That is the effort paradox. We value natural talent so much that we look down on practice. We think, if I am a genius, everything should be easy. It's called the duck syndrome. Calm on the surface, paddling furiously underneath. We hide our effort because we are ashamed of it.
That is so true for language learners. I don't want to speak English until I am perfect. I don't want people to hear me struggling or making grammar mistakes.
But struggle is the learning. If you hide the effort, you hide the growth. Now, let's look at the dark side of this. The fixed mindset creates a fear of trying. Imagine you have a test. If you study hard and fail, what does that say about you?
If I try my best and fail, it means I'm not smart enough. I have no excuse.
Exactly. That is terrifying. So, what do fixed mindset people do? They don't study. They procrastinate. They get drunk the night before.
Wait, why? That guarantees failure.
Yes, but it gives them an excuse. If they fail, they can say, "Oh, I failed because I was hungover," or "I didn't really try." It protects their ego.
Wow, so they prefer to fail with an excuse than to risk failing with their full effort.
Precisely. They say, "I could have been a great writer," but they never write. It's a tragedy. Now, compare that to the growth mindset. To them, effort is not a sign of weakness. It is the path to mastery. Look at Michael Jordan.
He's the greatest of all time. GOAT. Natural talent, right?
Actually, he was cut from his high school varsity team. He wasn't born a genius. He was a relentless worker. He practiced harder than anyone else.
So he didn't see effort as a bad thing. He saw it as the only thing.
Yes, in the growth mindset, you don't just overcome deficiencies with effort. You find joy in the effort itself. It's like going to the gym. The pain in your muscles isn't a sign that you are weak. It's a sign that you are getting stronger.
I need to apply this to my English. When I struggle to find a word, it's not because I'm stupid. It's because my brain is lifting weights.
Beautiful analogy, Sarah. Embrace the struggle.
Okay, I'm feeling motivated to work hard. Let's review the vocabulary for part 2. First word, deficiency.
A deficiency is a lack or shortage. Fixed mindset sees effort as proof of a deficiency in talent.
Second, paradox. A seemingly absurd or self-contradictory statement or proposition that when investigated or explained may prove to be well-founded. The effort paradox.
Third, relentless. Oppressively constant, incessant, showing no sign of stopping. Michael Jordan was relentless in his practice.
And fourth, to validate. To demonstrate or support the truth or value of something. Fixed mindset people constantly seek validation of their intelligence.
So, effort is good. We agree on that. But Sarah, no matter how hard you try, sometimes you will still fail.
And that is the ultimate test. Does failure define you, or does it refine you? We will talk about the failure response in part 3.
Welcome back to part 3. Sarah, grammar question. What is the difference between saying I failed and I am a failure?
Ideally, I failed is an action. It happened in the past. I am a failure is an identity. It's who I am.
Exactly. And that is the trap of the fixed mindset. When they fail a test, lose a job, or get rejected, they don't see it as an event. They see it as a definition.
Because if success means I am smart, then failure must mean I am dumb.
Precisely. It destroys them. So, how do they protect their ego? They play the blame game. Do you know John McEnroe, the tennis legend? He was famous for his talent, but also for his fixed mindset. When he lost, it was never his fault.
Who did he blame?
Everyone. The referee, the noise from the crowd, the wind, the racket. He couldn't accept a loss because it would mean he wasn't the best. Dweck says, "You can still be in the process of learning from your mistakes until you deny them." Once you blame others, you stop learning.
That hits deep. Once you blame, you stop learning. So, how does a growth mindset person handle failure?
To them, failure is painful. Let's be clear, it still hurts. But it doesn't define them. It is a wake-up call
A wake-up call to do what?
to change strategy. They treat failure as data. Okay, I got an F. That means my study method was wrong. What can I do differently next time?
They look at the inputs, not just the output.
Exactly. There is a story about a student who got a C+ on his midterm. He was disappointed. But instead of blaming the teacher, he went to the teacher and asked, "Can you show me how you would solve these problems?"
He asked for feedback?
Yes. He learned the strategy. On the final exam, he got an A+. That is the growth mindset. It's not magic, it's strategy.
But Alex, what about trying your best? Sometimes parents say, "It's okay, you tried your best." Is that good?
Be careful. Dweck warns about the false growth mindset. Just trying hard isn't enough if you are doing the wrong thing.
Like banging your head against a wall?
Exactly. If a student fails, don't just say, "Try harder." Say, "Let's try a different way." Effort without strategy is just burnout.
I love that distinction. It's not just about sweating, it's about thinking.
Correct. Failure is not a permanent tattoo on your forehead. It's just a feedback signal.
Feedback, not a tattoo. I'm going to write that down. Let's review the vocabulary for dealing with failure. First word, identity.
Identity is the fact of being who or what a person or thing is. A fixed mindset attaches success to their identity.
Second, defensive. Very anxious to challenge or avoid criticism. When you blame others, you are being defensive.
Third, constructive. Serving a useful purpose, tending to build up. We need constructive criticism, not insults.
And fourth, setback. A reversal or check in progress. Failure is just a setback, not the end of the road.
So, we understand the two mindsets. But Sarah, understanding is not enough. How do we actually change from fixed to growth?
Is it possible to change your brain? The answer is yes, and it starts with a tiny 3-letter word. We will reveal it in the finale.
Welcome to the finale. We know that the fixed mindset holds us back. But Sarah, the big question is, can we actually change our brains? Or are we stuck with the brain we have?
I hope we can change. But honestly, sometimes I feel like this is just who I am. I'm too old to change.
That is the fixed mindset talking. But science has good news. It's called neuroplasticity. Your brain is not a rock. It is like a muscle. Every time you learn something new, the neurons in your brain create new connections. When you struggle with English grammar, you are literally building a bridge in your brain. If you stop trying, the bridge collapses. If you keep trying, the bridge becomes a highway.
So, struggle isn't a sign that I'm dumb. It's the sound of my brain growing?
Exactly. We need to visualize that growth. Now, Carol Dweck gives us a magic word to help us switch mindsets instantly. It is a 3-letter word.
Yet. Y-E-T.
Yes. There was a high school in Chicago that didn't give failing grades. Instead of F, they gave the grade, not yet.
I love that. Fail means stop, you are done. Not yet means keep going, you are on a journey.
Precisely. Let's practice, Sarah. Say a fixed mindset sentence.
Okay. I am not good at public speaking.
Now add yet.
I am not good at public speaking. Yet.
How does that feel?
It feels hopeful. It implies that in the future, I could be good.
That is the secret. Whenever you catch yourself saying, "I can't," just add yet. It forces your brain into growth mode. But a warning, we are all a mixture of both mindsets. Nobody is 100% growth mindset.
Really? Even you?
Especially me. When I'm tired or stressed, my fixed mindset comes out. Alex, don't do that, you'll look stupid. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to hear that voice. and talk back to it.
Talk back to the voice. Thanks for sharing fixed mindset, but I'm going to try anyway.
Exactly. Step out of your comfort zone, because the comfort zone is where dreams go to die. So, let's wrap up our deep dive into mindset. We learned that talent is overrated. We learned to love the struggle. And we learned the power of not yet.
It's been an eye-opening series. I'm going to be nicer to myself when I make mistakes. Before we finish, let's do the final vocabulary review for the series. First word, neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to form and reorganize synaptic connections, especially in response to learning. Your brain is plastic, not stone.
Second, resilience. The capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness. Growth mindset creates resilience.
Third, transformation. A thorough or dramatic change in form or appearance. The journey from I can't to I can is a transformation.
And finally, to persist. To continue firmly in an opinion or a course of action in spite of difficulty. When you hit a wall, you must persist.
Thank you for learning with us. Remember, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe. We are growing every day, just like your neurons.
Tell us in the comments, what is something you are struggling with right now? Add the word yet at the end of your sentence.
See you next time.